Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of D-Hop TV. Definitely really excited for the show. On today's show, I'd like to introduce to you guys Breanna Sorensen. She's a sports reporter, does a lot of good work in the Dallas community. So appreciate you taking the time to come on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. This is an awesome setup you have. I'm excited to be on.
All right, thank you so much. So before I get today's show started, I would like to compliment you on your fit. I like that your outfit. You got the ones, the Jordans on. You came up
got to support the WNBA a little. Got to support my women's basketball. But yeah, thank you.
Speaking of that, I'm definitely glad to see that the WNBA has been getting this recognition that it deserves.
Huge. And Paige coming to Dallas.
Ooh, that's big time. That's big time.
I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited to go to some games.
You gonna be going to a lot of games?
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah, you gotta support. You gotta show out. Oh yeah, I'm getting all my friends. We're going to Wings games.
Okay, include me into that friends.
Okay, I got you. Okay, I'll send you the invite.
Definitely. Thank you. So let's go ahead and get today's show started. So, what inspired you to start your journey in here? How did you get started into it?
Yeah, so I first started out playing basketball my whole life, I'd say since I was maybe 6 years old until senior year of high school. Knew I wasn't good enough to go to a major D1, so I was like, okay, I gotta decide here, but I wanted to keep basketball in my life forever. So I'm okay, how am I gonna do that? And I realized through sports reporting, so it started through my little shout out to my Terrier TV, which is my little high school TV production class. So started very humble, just talking about the lunch menu pretty much every single day. And then just grew from there, went to college for it in journalism. Like I said, just never wanted to let, basketball go. That was my passion. So I wanted to find out a way that I could keep that in my life forever. Yeah. And that was through sports reporting. And it's worked out pretty well.
Okay. Yeah. What position did you play when you was playing basketball?
Small forward.
Small forward?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
Yeah. It was,
you miss playing a lot. Do you do little pickup games every now and then?
I did a little bit back in Florida. So I've been in Dallas about 5 years now. We used to do some pickup here and there. Now I actually coach a little kids team as well on the side. So yeah, I definitely am always involved for sure. And of course, you got to shoot around with them occasionally. Show them that you still got it. Okay. So if you, 3-point competitions here and there, things like that.
So you just mentioned that you been living in Dallas for 5 years. So where was you living at before then?
Yeah, so grew up, born and raised in Florida. Was there, also went to UCF, so Central Florida for my undergrad. First job for Navy Athletics in Annapolis, Maryland. COVID hit when 2020 NBA bubble, so moved back to Florida where lived in Disney for 4 months, which is crazy. And then after that, I moved to Dallas in 2021.
I've never been. You've been all over the map already.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, Southeast, Northeast, here in Dallas. But yeah, no, I've loved Dallas so far, though. It's a great city for sports.
I know your job requires you to move a lot, move around a lot. Where you think you might be at next?
Ooh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where next. I mean, Dallas, I know it was just announced, I think, last year that it's the #1 sports business city right now, which is crazy. And right now with, potentially Cooper Flag coming. We got, we're not going to talk much about the Mavs right now and that chaos, but Dallas is just a great place to be for sports. So I'm trying to feel it out for sure, but I love Dallas for now.
It's up. Paige is here.
Yeah,
Cooper Flag is about to be here.
Cooper Flag is about to be here.
Both the NBA teams got first round picks.
Yep. Yeah. Big time.
So going back to you, so you said you did some reporting for the Navy. So how did that shape you into your journey?
Yeah. So it was my first job out of college, and I think it was really cool because it was a job where I had to do it all. So I had to set up my cameras, I had to set up my audio, I had to do everything myself. So I learned so much by doing that, by being on also the other side of the camera as well as in front of the camera. So definitely taught me hard work. And to be honest, those athletes are some of my best interviews to date because they're so smart. These guys, they're so athletic, but also they're going to lead our Navy one day, of the United States. So they are just geniuses. So I've done some of my coolest, I'd say, storytelling there with, we had football players making these interactive helmets to see with the impact of their health. They just these crazy, talented, smart athletes there. So it was a really neat first job for sure.
Okay, yeah. How was it? Yeah, your very first time just reporting as a whole. Was you nervous?
Oh, I was so nervous. And I'd say my voice was 10 octave higher than what my voice was Minnie Mouse out there because I'd get so nervous and I have a naturally lower voice, but I'd get so nervous. I'd have to write down every single question. I'd have to write down and say their names 10 billion times. But I mean, you have to put it, you have to put in the hours, you got to put in the reps to be able to get comfortable for sure.
Okay, yeah. So let's go back to the COVID year. So how was working for the NBA bubble? How was that for you? Like, how was that experience working inside the NBA bubble? And did you have any behind the scenes moments that you could share with us?
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. To be honest, it was so cool because nothing else was happening at the time. There was nothing happening. So everyone is bored sitting at home. So when I got that call, I'm like, I'm there. I mean, I'm living at Disney for like 4 months, which is crazy. We were living at one of their resorts, getting COVID tested twice a day, which was crazy. Thankfully, it was lower nasal, so nothing wild. But it was cool because we had this really cool mission of bringing sports to a time that everything, everyone was down, like everyone was in bad spirits. So we got to bring that joy to people, which was a really cool challenge because we had no fans. I mean, all these athletes were going through it. Everyone's going through it, but we got to try to make these broadcasts as immersive as possible. So we had that challenge of, we made the video boards into fans. Like we had these giant video boards to make it look like fans were in the audience. We put microphones in the court that we've never done before, so you could hear every word athletes were saying, good and bad. We just had a lot of really cool challenges that we had to overcome. So it was a really exciting time.
So you stayed there through the whole playoff?
The entire time. So we saw, we got to see, the Heat versus the Lakers in the very end. And that was one of the most rewarding moments to see like the confetti come down at the end and just to realize like, okay, we did it. Like we accomplished what seemed like an impossible thing during such an impossible time. So it was really rewarding.
As a fan at home, it wasn't rewarding for me because I'm a Miami Heat fan.
Oh, and you're a Heat fan, and they were so close.
And
they were fun to watch.
so close. But I knew we wasn't going to beat LeBron. Well,
it was a crazy time, though, so you really never knew. Like, it was a very unpredictable season, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. So sports reporting can involve high-pressure moments on the set. So have you ever had one of those moments live while you was reporting?
Ooh, yeah, all the time. Actually, the first one that comes to mind was recently I was doing a tennis championship. It was the American Tennis Championships. And I was supposed to report like the entire broadcast, which I did. I would do all the interviews at the end. And at the very, very end was an award ceremony. So like you brought your MVP up, you brought your winning coach up. And I had a script for it because after the whole broadcast, that's the one thing they give you a script for to make sure you get right. So it's windy outside. So we're in Memphis for it. And it was super windy. My script flew away. Like right before, like on air, my script flew away. And thankfully I had it memorized. Which I just happened to do. Like I like to memorize everything just in case because you never know. And thankfully I did because the entire award ceremony script on live TV literally flew away. Like you can see it in the background. This little like 12-year-old kid came up to me afterwards. He's like, "Is this yours?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's mine." So just one example of like a really high pressure time of just making sure you know your stuff so that when those situations happen, that you're good. Definitely that over preparation is key.
Yeah. That's like stuff that I be seeing, like the news, weather stuff. Like it be seem like those be fake, but they be real.
Oh yeah, I've always wanted to be a weather girl for the day when you see them, with their umbrella flying away and stuff. Oh yeah.
So sports reporting requires a lot of networking. So how have you built relationships in the sports world?
Definitely. I feel like nowadays we have this amazing thing called social media, right? Where how I met you, like you can just reach out to whoever, whenever you want. And so I really try my best. I follow almost every single, I feel like, sports reporter out there. And I try to make that connection, send them a DM, introduce myself. Even as little as like commenting on someone's post. Like, that's awesome. That's cool. Just so you're always in the back of their mind. Social media is huge with networking nowadays. And I can't tell you how many opportunities I've gone through Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever, just because they're like, hey, there's this girl, in Dallas who's a sports reporter. She's always commenting on my stuff, harassing me on social media. Like, we should think about her. So I feel like social media is one of those keys to always just keep up with people consistently so that you're always on their mind.
Definitely. Yep. Because that's how this happened today.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to follow back up with you because you're a busy woman. So.
Oh, just a little bit. I know. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So what you got planned after, later on for the rest of the day? Like, you got some more work to do?
Yeah, more work. Thankfully, right now is actually more of my off season. So summers are a little slower since I mainly cover college athletics. So right now there's not too much going on. So So today, thankfully, isn't too crazy.
Yeah.
Just got done with tennis, which was my last sport.
Yeah.
So right now, it's just prepping for next season. Yeah.
And I definitely got to snag this interview before you go back to work.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So what has been like your favorite sports moment as a whole that you have ever witnessed live?
Ooh. I would say I'd have to go back to that NBA bubble with the NBA championship for sure, just because it was such a special time of us like conquering that moment of what seemed like such a high mountain and getting to the top and getting over that mountain, which we thought would be potentially impossible.
Yeah.
Just seeing, I mean, I'm not like a huge Lakers fan or anything, but when we saw that confetti come down, it was just such a special moment. I feel like everyone was crying just to bring like so many smiles and hope back to people during such a hopeless time. Like everyone was so down to see everyone have that interest and really just share that love for sports was a really cool moment.
Okay. Yeah, most definitely. That's definitely. So, before you had got I guess when as you was now, did you ever like get starstruck at any time when you met?
I mean, now, since I'm around so many athletes, I don't really get as starstruck anymore. I mean, it was so cool to see LeBron out there, people like that, just like right in front of you. It was a really neat opportunity.
That's dope.
But now I oddly get more starstruck even over like the reporters and journalists I see. I'm like, oh, I want their job. You know what I mean? Like that's so cool. So now it's like, of course you have those crazy like MVPs. You have those legendary coaches that you're always going to get starstruck over, a little starstruck over. But it's definitely a lot less now that you're consistently around them.
Okay, I feel that. I don't know how I'm going to react if I was to ever meet those kind of people, but I'm going to keep it cool. Nah, just making a joke. But so do you have like a dream athlete that you would like to interview? I know you've interviewed a lot of people, but is it somebody you would like to interview that you haven't got to interview yet?
One, so I guess it'd be a former athlete, but Shaq to me is one of the most interesting people. And now since he's always on TV, I feel like people aren't really interviewing him, but I would love to interview and sit down with Shaq because that man is a marketing genius.
Definitely.
Like the way he was able to go from athlete to successful businessman to such like a lovable guy and to still be so relevant is like amazes me. So I read an article recently. He owns like 50-something businesses. Like it's insane. And you always see him on TV. You always see him like in commercials. You see him. I'm like, how does he have time to do all this? But I think he's such an interesting person even outside of athletics that he would be really cool as like a businessman to interview.
Well, it's crazy. My mom actually ran into him a couple months ago in Carrollton. She was like just sitting down eating. All of a sudden, Shaq walked in.
You can't miss him.
Yeah, you can't.
you can't miss him.
Because I heard he lives out here.
Yeah, no, I heard that too, that he does have a house out here. Yeah. And he seems like such a cool guy.
Yeah.
Like he seems like such a down-to-earth dude. Like,
and you see he always buying people stuff like TVs.
He does. I know. Like sign me something.
Yeah,
like,
that I was going to say. I need to catch him in Best Buy.
Exactly. I know, seriously.
Yeah, definitely.
He seems like a really cool guy.
Yeah. So sideline and studio reporting, what would you say like the difference and which one do you like the most?
Ooh, I have to say for sure sideline, because just being at the game, like experiencing the game itself, seeing the emotions of the players, the coaches, and actually interviewing the athletes, I'd say is my favorite part for sure. Just being at the game to experience the atmosphere. So I definitely love sideline.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. So when you first like started your career, like which end was you on?
So at the beginning, I was doing a lot of like sit down features since they didn't really trust me to be on live TV much yet.
Yeah.
Rightfully so at the beginning. So I did a lot of sit down features. So I was a lot on that other side of not being live at the game. But now I'm definitely more on the sideline side, which I love. I definitely prefer that.
I understand. Like I said, I've seen you before. So I'm like, okay, you do a real good job.
Thank you.
No problem. So what are your goals in your future? What do you look forward to in the next couple of years in your career?
Yeah, I have a lot of passions, a lot of things I want to cover. I definitely want to move up in personally, college athletics is definitely my passion. Just being able, I feel like the college athlete has a different type of hustle versus pro. So I'd love to like cover like a national championship for football and like a championship for basketball and keep moving my way up in the college world. Yeah. Definitely would love to cover also WNBA and NBA like as well. I mean, I want to dip my feet in a little bit of everything, but for now, definitely want to focus on that college side just because I feel like the athletes are just so much fun to cover, and just their passion and their post-game interviews are different than pro. So I definitely love to work my way up a little more in college athletics for now.
Oh, yeah, they big time now because they got them NIL.
They are. I know. It's in like a whole completely different game now. It's really crazy, but it's definitely an interesting time in college athletics.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. So going back to your traveling, so you've been to a lot of places in America. So what would you say like your favorite place that you ever worked at?
I'd say one of the craziest places my job has sent me is Dublin, Ireland, which is wild.
Okay.
Like I never thought I'd be going like out of the country, like let alone at the time was like out of the state, but out of the country. I was doing a preview. It was actually for my first job, which is pretty crazy with Navy. We were doing a preview. It was going to be Army Navy in Ireland that upcoming year. So we flew to Ireland and they like wined and dined us to show us like everything they had to offer in Dublin. So that was a cool experience just to be able to go all the way, across the world to a different country for my job, which is very neat. And they just showed us so many cool museums, food places, just things I'd never seen before. So definitely, so Ireland would have been one of the ones. Yeah.
Another place that I've never been.
It's crazy. I don't think I would have ever been either if it wasn't for that Army Navy preview, but it's a pretty cool city. Yeah, it's a pretty neat town.
Okay, I understand. So is it one thing about yourself that people would probably be surprised about you that you could let us know about it? Like, I didn't know that.
Let me think. Still the fact that I played basketball for what? Let me think. I'd say way over my whole life, pretty much. Like I played basketball, like I said, probably some 6 to 18 people don't realize that. They see me, they're just like, oh, she just wants to cover sports. But when I tell you, I lived and breathed basketball. We would I was on a lot of AAU teams, so we did quite a little bit of traveling. We had ESPN Wide World of Sports in Orlando, which we'd have nationals all the time at. We would literally we'd be Christmas Eve in the gym. I was 24/7 in the basketball gym playing, which I definitely miss. But I think just people don't realize anymore that I used to play. I think they just think I cover it now. But basketball was my life for those years. But
all those 16, 18 people just found that out about you on D-Hop TV.
There we go. I love it. I know.
Yeah. So if you wasn't sports reporting, what do you think you would be doing with yourself?
Ooh. So growing up, I wanted to be a teacher. Not sure about that anymore. I'm really into real estate too. I know they're bad. My mom's a teacher, a middle school math teacher, and they are, she loves it, but I don't know if I could do it. They're crazy. That's basic, but I do love real estate. I'm into a little bit of real estate investing, but I love real estate. I also love basketball so much that I feel like I still might do something, whether it's even an AAU coach or something like that. I don't know if I'd go all the way to college coaching because that's another level and another level of commitment. But I could definitely see myself even more into coaching as well.
Do you have any friends who into sports, is into sports where they work?
Oh yeah, my best friend works for the Rangers. We have almost all of my friends, I feel a lot of them are in the sports industry at least. Like I said, my best friend was the Rangers. I have a girl with assistant with the Mavs. I have assistant coaching friends.
So y'all all big time.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends. I'm at SMU as well since I cover a lot of their basketball. A lot of SMU friends. So yeah, a lot of sports friends. One of my best friends from college, she's actually a news reporter in Jacksonville, in Florida. But mainly everyone besides her, a lot of sports friends.
Okay, I understand that. So who would you say has been your biggest inspiration outside of sports, and who has been been the biggest impact for you from your career?
Ooh, so my personal impact is definitely my mom. She's been there since day one, watching when I used to make these awful features that nobody was viewing. It'd say there's one viewer, and it would be my mom watching every single interview and sharing every single interview. So on a personal side, definitely my mom has been the A1 day one, literally day one with my worst interview. She was always there, liking, sharing, telling all her friends about me when I was barely making a YouTube video. She was amazing. And then I think inspiration of who I want to become one day would be a Holly Rowe. She is so cool. She's so dope how she's able to go from covering so many different sports. Like you'll see her on the sideline of college football and WNBA one day, and she doesn't care. Like she'll cover whatever. And like the athletes seem to have such a great relationship with her.
Yeah.
So she's definitely like my inspiration for like career wise is Holly Rowe.
Have you ever just met her before?
No, I haven't. She's one person I actually have not met in person. So that's definitely a goal of mine one day.
She might see this interview. They're going to want to meet you.
I know.
Then.
We got to tag her. You got to tag her. Okay, Holly Rowe, tag her.
So the last question I got to you before I close this podcast. This was fun, by the way.
This is great.
But so what advice can you give other people who would like to be in your shoes one day?
Yeah, I'd say every no is one step closer to a yes. Like I love that quote because I can't count how many times I've received no's, like sending my reporting reel out to all these directors and producers and them not even replying. So I'd say I get a lot of questions from younger people wanting to get into the sports industry. And I just tell them, like keep sending your reel out, keep sending it on LinkedIn, sending it to emails, like keep DMing it to people. Because every no is that one step closer to that yes that you might get. Because I can't count how many times I've gotten no's or no responses. So just to keep trying, because if it's meant to be, it will happen.
Yeah. Just like I said, it's meant to be. This happy. You answered me back.
Exactly. Yes. Appreciate it.
But like I said, thank you for taking the time to come on the podcast. This is gonna be this. Y'all gonna see her again. You definitely got to come back for sure.
Absolutely. I know. I feel like we were barely here. This went by so fast. I've had so much fun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
But if you guys like today's video with Breanna Sorensen, make sure you guys subscribe to D-Hop TV. Thank you so much.